Michael, your stream is live now, and now you can make me a co-host.
Okay.
And I will also start the recording for you once the attendees will start getting in.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. You are co-host, Todd.
Thank you.
Hello, Pam.
Oh, hey,
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
That's good. I can't believe it. Well, back to class one, are you? Hello. Okay. And Laura. Okay.
Hello, Michael. Yes, back again.
Yeah, it's great to see some familiar faces and yeah.
Some followers.
Some followers. That's great. Thank you. Yeah. And is that Felice? Felice, hello. Have I pronounced that correct? Yes, I have. Thank you for the thumbs up. You know how to use Zoom. And Connie, welcome. Okay. And Robin. And, sorry, talk to me. Yes. Okay. Right. So while we're waiting, we've got like I think 20 something people booked for this class.
Good.
So yeah, it's a little different to last week this time, wasn't it, Bill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I wasn't mic'd at the time. I had to plug it in. Hi.
Yeah, hi, Phyllis. That's great. So, Phyllis, maybe start with you. What brings you to this class on purpose?
I want to find mine.
That's it.
And I'm signed up for the next 4 as well. I think it's 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah. And so, Pam, what about you? What brings you to this class?
Well, I put in my resignation at work today. I'm about retirement age, but I feel like I have more to my life and I want to find a true purpose and a true passion. And I feel like I've got so many interests that I don't know how to narrow things down.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing that. And so, Laura, you tell me, what brings you to this class?
Well, as you know, Mike, I'm just obsessed with taking all these classes, as many classes as I can, and actually was curious to see what you had to teach me today.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to share today. We're going to share things today. Okay, we're going to find that deep down purpose. So it might not actually happen today. It might take a few weeks to happen, But so be it, so be it. But thank you for sharing. Valerie, hello and welcome. And what brings you here?
Hi, pretty much just trying to think of what my purpose is and just moving forward. I recently retired and looking at the next chapter of my life. So that's what brought me here.
Okay, I like that phrase, the next chapter of my life. That's beautiful. You know, we've all reached that time of our lives, which that's a lovely way to describe it. You know, it's our new purpose, our new 30 years of career of some description that's ahead of us. Yeah. Okay. And Pamela, welcome. And what brings you here?
Curiosity.
Okay. Sorry, stay again.
And
Curiosity, was it?
curiosity, and just want to explore, see if what you're saying is lining up with what I'm feeling and sensing for me. And so just to get confirmation and information.
Right, right. Well, welcome. Okay, that's
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Marsha, are you there? Marsha, are you there?
Oh, I am here.
Great. And what brings you here?
Well, I just took an exercise class, so I decided that this is good for exercising the mind.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. You know that your camera, I think, is probably, I don't know if that's a virtual background or the roof or whatever, but
I know I'm trying to adjust the light because that's
Okay.
always a problem.
Okay, okay. I thought you were just getting dressed after the gym, after your exercises. Okay. Right, and we got Sandy Mayer. Hello, welcome.
Hi,
And what brings you here, Sandy?
I'm curious of how the process of finding your purpose is.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's
Michael,
great.
it seems like we have a lot of curious people.
Yes, we do have
Seems like a returning theme.
Yeah, yeah, you're quite right. So I hope we fill your curiosity during this class and the coming 4 more classes after this, every day this week, same time. Okay, so if you do carry on, like Lil did last week, and she's back again at #1 this week. Okay. And she's got a great purpose that she's developing. So, all right, I'm not going to go and ask everybody, but if you'd like to interact, please put your camera on, and then you know we can interact. Otherwise, if you want to ask a question, then please just take off your mic, ask the question, and you can do that by pressing the space bar down and holding it down to come in. But feel free. I'm not going to, unless there's some background noises, I'm not going to mute everybody. So so yeah, I'd like to introduce you to Todd. Todd is the TA in this lesson. In this particular class. It's the first time he's been in my class. And so I don't know how long, Todd, you've been around, but welcome. It's really great having you.
No video.
So if you have any questions for Todd, you know you're all regular. You can ask him questions on the chat page. And if I miss your questions, which I'm pretty sure if you put them on the chat page, I'm going to miss them, but he won't miss them. All right. So he will then remind me that there's a question or tell me what it is. But you can interrupt me and ask the question as we're moving along. But it's a process. And let me just start by sharing my screen. And right. Can you see my my screen? Just say yes if you can.
Yes.
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 Great.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's super. Right. As is customary, as some of you now, because it's a large class, may not know who I am. As you can see on the screen, my name is Michael Plumstead, and I live in Perth, Western Australia. And the time has just gone 9 a.m. in the morning. And I've had breakfast, actually. Yesterday, I hadn't had breakfast by 9 on Mother's Day, but anyway. So I'm an author, researcher, business owner, trainer, those sort of things historically. And my purpose moving forward now is to do what I'm doing right now. And that's to share information on and with Get Set Up. So, but I also enjoy gardening and microgreening, love being a father. And but training is where I am heading to now. Okay, so just be aware that I've discovered my purpose through a process very similar to what I'm going to teach you now. Okay, so the agenda won't mean much to you at the moment. Okay, until we've been through. I've divided it up into 7 steps in actual fact. Now, you can make notes, but I think probably the best way to work in the future is to request a copy of this recording. And that will include the slides, include what we've all said to each other. You can then, having a recording, you can stop and start and make notes again. So that's probably the best way to work through the process. And so the purpose of life is a life with purpose. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody exists for a reason, and we're all meant to contribute to this world in our unique way in our senior years. Okay, it's like a new life. Okay, our subconscious mind may want us to do something else in our new world that we find ourselves into in this age. Okay, and that's something that the subconscious wants us to do is our purpose. Okay, and so we need to find it. Okay, so this purpose is going to be our senior life's mission. Our purpose is why we are alive now in this world in 2021. So we need to find our why and our purpose. And that's the process of the steps that are going to come up now. Let's start with step 1. Step 1, I'm going to start with a very broad category of what's out there on our planet. And that is, there's only, if you had to look at all the different careers and jobs and functions, basically and broadly, they fall into 3 categories. Okay, and those are on your screen now. You manufacture a product and then sell it, like a factory, a craftsman, an artist. Okay, or you buy a product and sell it. Okay, like a wholesaler or a retailer or an affiliate and so on. Okay, or you learn a skill and you sell the service of that skill, like a doctor or an attorney or a designer or a programmer, you know, whatever. So very broadly, everything falls into those 3 categories. Now, the reason that I show you those 3 categories is because I want to turn them and minimize them into an individual now. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we are unique individuals. Okay, and broadly speaking, what were we born to do, especially when we have reached our 60 years and 10, okay, when we reached around those senior years, which are such fun. I have turned them around, and now there are three things. I enjoy working with my hands, like manufacturing things, okay, like making things, okay, or you ask yourself, you know, do I enjoy interacting with people? And then thirdly, do I enjoy working by myself, you know, using my head and other skills I have learned? So that's the first question. You've got to come up with an answer. And I know we all have a bit of all of them in us, okay? And that's not the purpose of this question. One of them is dominant inside us, okay? And which one is that? That's where we must stop. And I know, you know, you're going to say, I like working with my hands and I like working with people, or, you know, I like working with my hands and I like being alone on my computer by myself. But there's one that you need time. And if you can't answer it right at this moment, if it's not obvious at this moment, then keep step one and think about it during the course of the evening or tomorrow, and try and find evidence in your life of which one it is. So maybe we can just check if anybody right now knows which of the three they like to work with predominantly. Okay, anybody want to share that? Don't forget to take your mic off. Huh? Okay. All right. So none of you want to share at the moment, and that's absolutely fine, because it's a process we go in through, and there are like 6 steps to the essential part of the process. So let's move back to, you now need to write down at some point, you need to write down the answer to step 1. And please, I urge you, do not continue until you've got your answer to step 1. Do not go to step 2, okay? We're going to go through all of them now so that you know what they are, but do not stop there. All right, so step 2 now. Why do I want to work with any idea at all? What is the reason? Okay, it's very important to have a reason for what you do. I say in many of my classes, why is the most important word in the English language, particularly in our senior years. You know, why are we eating this? Why are we doing this? Why are we visiting those people? And so on. So step 2 is, why do I want to come up with an idea anyway? Why do I want to find my purpose? Okay. Think about it. And another way of looking at it is, you know, what is my intention? What is my why? What is my intention? Okay, so I've created some sort of broad questions that you can ask yourself and about intention, because you need to be thinking about this intention inside you. It's deep. And at this point, I must just suggest to you that as you go through these various steps and this process, I would suggest you do not share it with anybody. You don't share it with your children. You don't share it with your spouse. It's a private journey that you're on right now, trying to get your subconscious to communicate with you where you have various aha moments, okay, like Winfrey would say, and write them down. So you're going to have a notebook with you, and as you come to the answers to step 1 through to step 7, you write down those answers. And it might take you a few weeks to get to those answers because your subconscious might be quite far back. So intention is the starting point of every dream, okay? The why is the starting point of every dream. And we want to create a dream career, a dream purpose, a dream or something to give us a purpose in this life as we work through the next 30 years of our senior life. And intent is the creative energy that lays the foundation for purpose and growth and success. Okay? The energy, the quantum physics energy that we now know so much about, okay? If that intent is powerful, then you are going to move forward with much fun and much purpose. Authentic intent is the first step in the successful discovery of your idea. You need to have an intention, okay? Important. You need to have a why, in other words. I interact with those two words, okay? So intent helps you find your purpose and makes you feel good about yourself, regardless of what others say. And remember, don't get anybody else saying anything at this moment in your life. So step 2, you want to write down your answer, okay? Remember, the question is, why do I want to work with any idea at all? What is my reason? Okay? Write it down, okay? And remember, nobody else is going to see this. You're not going to share it with anybody else. So it has to be honest to yourself, okay? It's not like you now going to boast about it to someone else, okay? This is you quietly in that notepad of yours, okay, which you're keeping next to your bed, which you take into the shops with you, which you have next to you when you're having your afternoon refreshment, okay? So write your answer down for step 2, okay? Now, step 3, find your way towards new purpose. Ideas, meaning, this is what you've got to ask yourself. I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself. Some of them will be on the screen. Some will just be sort of more spontaneous on my side. So step 3, I want you to create your own questions to ask your subconscious mind about what your purpose is. Okay? So step 3 is about you creating questions for yourself. I'm going to give you all sorts of examples. You don't have to use any of them, but you need to create the questions because those are the answers that you are looking for. Okay. So what brings you joy? What activities makes you happy? What do I love to do? You can ask yourself. What do I find myself doing for hours on end and not get tired? What were my favorite things to do as a child? That's a good one. That's really a good one because, wow, you know, you weren't logical in those days. You were just playing and you played at what your subconscious was encouraging you to play. And you got lost in your subconscious, quite honestly, at a younger age. And so that might be a good thing to look back and ask yourself, you know, what makes me come alive? You know, what things have I made that I feel excited to get out of bed in the morning? Or maybe you already know what gives you meaning that makes your life worth living. Who or what do I want to be? That might be another question. So these are all questions that you could start forming for yourself and writing down the questions first, okay? And then, ask yourself, am I walking a path in life that is uniquely mine? Uniquely mine, okay? The process we're doing now has got nothing to do with money, okay? Nothing to do with money. We're looking at an idea that you want to action, that you want to go forward with, okay? Whether it's going to make money or not make money, that's irrelevant at this point in time, because you're not judging it, you're not using your logical mind, okay? And maybe your idea is that you're not going to want to make money, it's not going to be a business, okay? It's going to be something that you want to do, maybe for free, to help other people. It's going to be your purpose, okay? It's going to be your idea. So do not ever, in class 1, think about money, okay? It's very, very interesting to ask yourself, am I walking a path in life that is uniquely mine? Then we're heading in that right direction. What am I naturally good at? Okay. What comes easily to me? Okay. And because money doesn't matter, okay, what is my dream? I'm not thinking about money. Okay, what would I do because money doesn't matter? Okay, maybe how do I spend my time? So these are all questions that you could be asking yourself and writing down. It's important to walk a path that is uniquely yours as we move forward in our senior years now, okay? Because all of us have an aspect that is unique to us, something that we really enjoy, something that we really love, something that we want to do, but we might not know what it is at this point in time, at step 3 of this process. And don't forget, we have to bring in step 1 into this process. And remember, step 1 is, do I like working with my hands, my head, or with people, okay? And step 2, why do I want to do something? Why do I want me to be something, okay? So step 3 is about finding the questions. And if the questions that I've asked, either on the screen or now just chatting to you, ring a bell and you want to use those questions, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You can use those questions as your questions. Just remember that these questions and the subsequent answers in this step 3, okay, are driven by an innate love and joy. Okay, you are drawn to them for a reason. They lead you to where you are meant to go. So spend time with them before moving on to step 4. So this up to step 3 might take you a good few days of putting your feet up, relaxing, having that favorite cup of coffee or cappuccino or tea every day for a few days, that quiet time, and asking yourself these questions and allowing the contemplation to continue, all right? And it might take you way off at a tangent. Let it take you off at a tangent. Go off at a tangent, because you're waiting for the subconscious to break through with an aha moment. And there may be many aha moments. And the more you write them down, the more value they will give you later on in this particular process. All right, so step 1, 2, and 3, are they clear, or do you have some problems? Just, you can nod your head if they're clear. Okay. All right, that's great. Okay. All right. You can ask a question if you want to, but let's carry on. You know you can ask a question, but it's not really the type of class that the questions come in later classes. Okay, you can ask a little there. You know, the questions then come when we're looking at other aspects. Here we're looking at the what. What is our purpose, and the why? Why do we have the purpose? What's our intention? So those don't involve the logical mind. So there are always fewer questions than in the classes where we start dealing with the how, and we'll get there. So step 3 is create your questions, spend time really relaxing and answering the questions, either answering your own or answering the ones that I've suggested, or call for the recording of this class and just listen to this one step 3 with all the questions in it, and just play it over and over again, okay, and just think of the questions. So step 3, you can have lots of light bulb moments, and I'm sure you will, okay. So broadly, what will give you meaning? That's step 3, okay? And you're going to write down your answers, and you're going to have all these light bulb moments that you can see in the image there that will be coming. And the more time you give it, the more light bulb moments, the more aha moments that you will give. Okay, so step 4. Broadly, what do I want to do in my new business? We're talking very broadly, because remember, you've done step 1, 2, and 3 now, okay? So you've got a lot of what's and you've got a why, okay? So now you want to take those and you want to say broadly, what do I want to do in my new business now, okay? And so these are not about specific tasks, okay? They're just a category, and the category needs to be as broad as you can possibly make it. Don't come down. There will be a time in this class where we bring it down closer to more specific, but at the moment, just broad categories, like, are you working with your hands? Do you like baking? Okay, are you going to be a baker? Or are you going to be a blogger and write articles? Or do you like buying and selling? Or do you want to work at your computer as an accountant and do sort of advanced accounting? Those sort of broad categories of things is what you really want to be looking at now in step 4. But the most important thing, you are not using your logical mind. You're not using, oh, what am I good at? Or those sort of things that often get asked. This has got nothing to do with what you're good at, okay? It might turn out ultimately in the future, but it must be a feeling that when you come up and you talk about, like, I want to be a baker, okay, your whole heart area just warms up and it's beautiful and feels great. Okay? And so it's a feeling. We are working with feelings in this class, okay? Future classes will be different, but this class, to get the purpose, it must be a feeling, and it must be private, okay? Don't share it. Don't share it at this stage anyway. So you're looking for a broad category now that gives you a good feeling. If I had to say to myself, research, just by mentioning the word research, I get a warm feeling. Okay, it's me. I like it, but I'll give you an example using my own in a minute. So remember, it's about a feeling. So now you can list all your what's, okay, all those light bulb moments that you had, all the possible new ideas, and even at this stage too. Now maybe you've selected 1 or 2 of the what's from the previous step, and you're now still thinking about the category, and you're thinking about the different what's, okay, the different broad ideas, the different broad purposes, okay. And step 4 is you write them down now, okay. Don't forget that notebook, okay. If you want to do this purposely, right over from now for the next 30 years, but certainly from now for the next 5 days, the next 5 classes, then keep a notebook with you, okay? So that you've got some form of reference and ideas, because don't think you're going to remember that moment you've just had now in this class, perhaps, okay? Write it down, okay? Take as many days as you need. I'm hoping that these classes will continue every week forever. And so, you know, you don't have to do the next class tomorrow. You know, maybe next week on Tuesday, you could do the class, or the following week on Tuesday, whenever it comes up. And but make sure you are feeling that you're getting forward with some ideas that, and don't judge those ideas. Please don't judge those. Just write them down. Those whats, just write them down, okay? And the why too, write it down. And then, you know, you've taken your time. Maybe you can do it in a day. Maybe it works through a process and in a day. Then you move on to step 5. And so you now take a few days to think about why you want to do what you want to do. Why is essential to your idea and purpose. Don't move forward without the why, okay? It's very important. I'm going to give you an example here. 2 people, it's on your screen, so you'll find it in your recording as well. 2 people intend to donate money to charity. The first one's reason, the first one's why, is to get a tax deduction. And the second person wants to assist abandoned children. Okay. Now, the what was the same, donating money to charity, but the why was not the same. You need to find your why, okay? Your authentic why, okay? Because, you know, if you have an authentic, motivating why to live for, you will discover many ways to do it, okay? And you can chop and change the ways. That's not a problem. But if the why is deep embedded in you, it's embedded in your subconscious, it generates a warm feeling in your heart, okay? That why is important, okay? That why is important. So, you know, as long as you've come up with that really motivating why, and remember, this has got nothing to do with money, okay? So let me give you, I said I'd give you an example. Just excuse me while I sip a bit of water. Your mouth gets dry when you're talking so much. Okay. So step 5, an example of purpose and why. And I'm using my own example, all right? So it really, really worked for me. And out of that process that I worked through, I'm sharing that now with you, okay? So step 5, you start with a broad what purpose, okay? What idea, what is my purpose? And mine actually evolved over many months, okay? And I kept on coming back to it and so on. But it ended up to being to research, write, and share the information that will benefit individuals. That was my purpose, finally. As I said, it wasn't just an aha moment over a cup of tea. And the why was because I love researching. I love discovering new information. I like writing. I like creating videos, any way of communication, you know. So that's what started me off in the route that I am now in. So that's what we've been trying to do up to this point, you know, a broad purpose, very broad purpose, okay? Because remember, when you look at the broad purpose here, you know, what was I going to research? I didn't say what I was going to research. I didn't say what I was going to write about, and I didn't say how I was going to share that information. So it's about step 5 is about the very broad purpose and the why, bringing it now, because you've now gone through the previous 4 steps. Okay, so now you are clear, or you should be, or you shouldn't have gone on, clear about the reason for wanting to work, the why, the type of work, the what, and your reason for that type of work, why again. Okay, so now you put it all together from your rough notebook and so on, and you create a paragraph for yourself. It doesn't matter if it's a short paragraph or a long paragraph. Put it all together, write it. So you put in all your ideas and all your whys together for an overall purpose. It's what people generally call in life the mission, okay? But you don't have to use that word unless it's meaningful to you, the mission, okay? So at this point, in step 5, now that you're writing it, you're busy writing, you should feel excitement. You should feel a warm feeling around your heart, putting it down and writing about it and rewriting it and changing those words and that sentence and getting some more aha moments as you're moving through that process. Okay. So yes, there's a warm feeling. And if you don't have that warm feeling, go back and have a look at which step you perhaps just slipped past because you weren't quite sure. You can't slip past any particular step in this process. Okay, so now comes a little bit more detail. So we now take the broad what category, yeah, you wanted to research and write and communicate, that broad category, and now you start thinking and researching to bring it down to more specific category. Okay, so you bring in that very broad category, which I showed you as an example, and now you're coming down to something a little bit more specific that falls within that broader category. And then you want to become more knowledgeable about that particular more specific category, okay? So let's just take that example again to make it clear. So we are down to the detail of the what. We want to get to now the specific product that we want to move forward. So remember, I started off with wanting to be a researcher and a writer. Okay. And so my broad category, remember I showed you this, to research, write, and share. Now you bring that down to a smaller category. So, you know, you now start finding out the what category. What am I going to research? What am I going to write? What am I going to share? Okay. So now we're into a smaller what category and purpose. So I had decided that I was going to research, write, and share alternative health treatments. I did have a motive. I wasn't healthy. I was terribly painful legs and spent some short times in a wheelchair. Okay. And I was going to heal myself. So this was part of my research and writing. So there was a strong feeling of wanting to get this right and wanting to heal myself as well. So I said, fine, where to from there? I mean, that's an enormously large category, alternative health treatments, okay? And so I moved down to for nervous system diseases, okay? And I came to that from research and thinking about my pain. And then I came to what I was going to start with, okay? I was going to start with MS, Alzheimer's, and peripheral neuropathies. And that was going to be my product, okay? So I was going to research it. I was going to also try it on myself, and I was going to write about it. And those articles are still on my website today, and share it with people through my articles on my website and through some of the videos that I did. although they turned out to be few and far between, my articles covered everything. So that is what you want to get to with step 6. You want to get down to moving the what and the why right the way down to the product, right the way to, you might be going to be giving the product away for free. It's nothing about money, that's fine. Or you're going to want to write those articles and you want to earn money from them, that's fine too. We'll cover both in classes that are coming up. And you can look at them because the process is the same, okay? So step 7 now comes the how to launch the purposeful ideas. And those are going to be in class 2, 3, and 4, are all part of the how and the choosing the how, and knowing why you're moving forward with that how. But before we get to those classes tomorrow and following down during the week as well, is you now need to decide, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, now obviously all of you listening, and there's a fair number of you, you're all going to have different ideas of what you're going to do. Your purpose in life will be unique to you, and so the only way I can cover in future classes is if you share with me, I can give you some ideas on those. And we do class 5 on Friday, where that's the whole purpose is sharing, and yeah, and Lil was part of that that sharing on 5. So you're now going to look at how you want to deliver it. So if you're writing and you're going to share information from whatever it is that you love, and you can do it as a trainer or as a freelancer, as a blogger. If you're making something, it could be a whole different way. But the idea is that you need to be looking just at the moment on what resonates with you as how you want to deliver it. Because yes, you might be working with your hands, but you've also said to yourself, well, I like people, So you may combine those two now and say, well, fine, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to market it. Or this is how I'm going to communicate it to the world at large. Okay. But the big thing as part of step 7, as part of this step, is to do what you want to do as a sample. If you're going to be writing, start writing and research. If you're going to be making something, make something and give it away. If you're going to be alone on your computer doing, maybe teaching one-on-one something, then get that course written, get that process written. And if you're going to buy and sell and become an affiliate and so on, go and do your research there on which products you're going to buy and why you're going to buy them, and which affiliate program you might join and resell. So this part 7 now, you're going to now use your logical mind. You can go to Mr. Google and you can ask him questions and come up with ideas, because we're now moving away from the what and the why. We're now moving into the how to get it out there, how to work with it, okay, and work with it for decades to come. So that's an area that I want you to think about before, if you can, before you come to the class. So you've got a sort of an idea, but you might not have even reached the step yet, in which come, join next week's class or the week after that's class. And but try and get through this process, and then we'll look at how, launching the whole communication. How do we communicate? How do we find people to follow you or buy your services? Or, how do you grow a business if you're going to start a business? Okay, it doesn't have to be a business, remember. So these are in the coming classes. So, as I said at the beginning, the purpose of life is a life with purpose. Find it with me and join the journey with me. And I'd love you to stay for 30 years. Okay. So thank you very much indeed for being part and parcel. We'll check if you have any quick questions for clarity before we close off the class. Are there any questions or comments?
Do you want to see us all back tomorrow?
Only if you love to want to come back and you've got a purpose already in your life. Okay, I'd love to see everybody with a purpose back tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. But come up with that purpose. Okay, you don't have to share it. Okay, but if you do, that's great. But you know, you might still feel not ready to share what that purpose is. And it doesn't, I know you don't know what Lil's purpose is, but I'm in at an advantage because she shared it on Friday. And so she's got a grand purpose. Okay.
Lil, are you going to share it tomorrow?
No, not tomorrow.
I'm curious about Pam, if you think you want to stay in a similar field or if you want to do something completely different.
Yeah. I can't hear you. Your microphone. Your microphone's still off, Pam.
There we go.
Completely different. I was in the medical field. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't know what's in your subconscious waiting to come out, you see. It may have nothing to do with your past. Absolutely nothing. It might be something new. Maybe you want to become a doctor and now you've got to go to 7 years of studying, okay? That's possible. You know, what's 7 years in the next 30, okay? So, all right. Any other comments or questions? All right, well, you're going to get an email from me today, and it's going to look something like this with a few comments in, and you can give feedback. I'd like you to give feedback because it's a totally new class, and Get Set Up, I think, needs to hear what you feel about the process and the class. So when you get the email or after the class, then please. And the next time you book a class, invite a friend as well. Because if you like it, it means a friend's going to like it. Okay. So invite a friend because it's great. You know, this is all, the classes are for free. So it's great to just bring people that you think might benefit or might enjoy it and so on. And we can expand, you know. Get Set Up wants to go across the whole world. We're just expanding in Australia right now. So we've got very few people in Australia at the moment. But we do have them. And so remember that help at Get Set Up. Any new ideas you've got, any things you want to communicate to the company, the help will send it to the right person to answer it.
Michael, are we going to get an outline with the questions? Because my kids were here for Mother's Day, so I got here late. Are you going to send us any information on the questions that you have us working on?
No. What we strongly recommend, Get Set Up and myself, is that you request the recording, okay? And then you work through the recording and the aspects that you want to focus on. You'll get the slides on the recording, but you will also get the things I said, which was a lot more than what was on the slides, okay? So you can then listen again. So that's the best way to work, is through the recordings. So, but to answer your question, no, we're not sending any attachments.
No, okay.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much indeed for joining the class. I hope that we are on a journey together that's going to continue for 30 years, but certainly for the next week. Okay, so hope to see some of you tomorrow or in future weeks to come. Thank you very much.
Sounds great. Goodbye to everybody and have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.